NUMSA's special congress drew to a close yesterday, the union is set to abandon Cosatu and open its doors to workers in a broad range of sectors. Meanwhile, NUMS spokesperson Lisiba Sishoka has announced that he will be leaving the union at the end of the month. Ralph Mateja, who's a political analyst from Clear Content, joins us now on the line for more. Ralph, just getting your thoughts on the conference that took place yesterday and the threats to the tripartite alliance. Are they justified, perhaps?
Well, they are justified in a sense that there are quite structural issues that need to be dealt with within the alliance. We know that the alliance has been incepted before the ANC became a governing party during the course of liberation movement time. And now the ANC is a governing party, and it has got multiple constituencies, including business and labor as well. And that actually says that there need to be reflections on the alliance as to what is going to be the terms of engagement between alliance members going forward. So those are the issues that there need to be a conversation on that. But unfortunately, the tone of the language that you get from NUMSA and also the manner in which alliance members have engaged each other now, focusing on personalities, mudslinging, allegations against each other of impropriety. Unfortunately, it doesn't allow them to really give attention to those structural issues. The focus now seems to be much on reacting on the crisis that they are dealing with now, the crisis involving Mr. Vavi and so forth, and subsequent suspension. I believe that whether or not they've had this crisis of suspension, there would still be those issues that they needed to reflect upon as alliance members.
But just on that, Ralph, clearly the timing of this is also questionable, given the fact that we are a country heading up to national elections next year.
Certainly, it is opportune at this point for NUMSA to wield the power that it seems to be wielding, to say to the ANC, to say to the broader alliance that if you do not come to the party on some of the issues that we have concerns with. Those are the issues involving the policy decision of the ANC, your e-tolling, your youth wage subsidy, and also the ANC's endorsement of the National Development Plan. Those are issues that NUMSA has a problem with. And at this point, the moment it allows that NUMSA can raise those issues now before elections so that the ANC can actually weigh in and see and do a cost-benefit analysis that what do we do? Do we really concede on this? Do we yield to NUMSA on this, or do we go for? The moment allows that as we are getting towards election. But unfortunately, I think NUMSA has pushed it too far, however, because the tone, their language shows that they do not see a space for a conciliatory tone on this. And it seems as if, in my view at least, they have reached a point of no return. They do not strike me as a union that still sees the possibility of functioning within the tripartite alliance, although they have not announced their outright decision to pull out of the alliance. But they've gone too far away from the structures of the alliance to strike a conciliatory tone with the ANC and other members of the alliance.
Ralph, I can't let you go without touching on the Nkandla report, which was published by government representatives yesterday, who mentioned that the upgrades were for the sole purpose of security upgrades at the president's rural homestead. What do you make of this? Do you think the public is buying into the report, or is the government perhaps pulling the wool over citizens' eyes?
Well, 2 points about the Nkandla report, and I think it's a critical issue to talk about. First of all is the time at which the report comes to the public. The report has been held back for about 10 months or so. That raises credibility problems because government did not come forth, was not forthright in terms of the content as to what had happened in Nkandla. And after 10 months or so, you see an about 10 where government is saying, here is the report, look at the report, this is what we thought. Question remains as to what is it that was being done since the report has actually been completed until now that it has been released. The second point goes to the substance of the report. Does the report really address the issues as to the government or the executive? The executive, I'm referring to your public works, your security cluster ministries that are involved in construction in Nkandla, or at least in appropriation or releasing government funds on Nkandla. Did they really exercise their duties reasonably? Did they exercise political oversight thereof? The report doesn't do that. It pushes the responsibility or the blame towards procurement, where it gives the impression that Nganda is all about the runaway cost. It has got nothing to do with the initially bad decision, but it's about companies that might have been have not behaved well during procurement, and hence we hear that there might be investigation into that. I don't think that explanation will be satisfactory to citizens.